is on the second hill, if you don't lock down spawns, of just breaking by 4-man flooding up the left side. Like, don't even waste time trying to go through ammo to get spawns initially. Just keep flooding. And then if you keep the pressure and force the other team to spawn back ammo, that's fine. Like, you lose the spawns, but you can still get a decent chunk of time. Because a lot of teams, like OpTic and MindFreak, both of their setups, they put a lot of pressure on ammo. And so if you just expose the left side, you'll be chilling, of course, at the start of this game. Nades are doing pretty well for OpTic game. Each able to get a kill.
Doesn't get much easier than that when they get you your first couple. Formal dropping one shot there. We'll have to back out of the hill, but he's got help coming on in from the rest of OpTic Gaming. As they're just trying to hold that side of the map, obviously, for the next spawns. Awkward team kill comes into play there. Dens and Fida trading kills around this hard point as you see one player from MindFreak trying to develop middle map. It's going to be Shocks looking for the pinch in courtyard.
Buzzo just put like 90 bullets through a wall that entire time. But yeah, no, he can play a bit slow sometimes, but obviously there's value to trying to go through the wall bank just to try and catch people as they go through the door. But yeah, Formal started out 4-0, got streaks, got a little bit of hill time as well. And more importantly for OpTic, well, they have the spawns early on. So now we get the opportunity. How does MindFreak try and break it? Do they all flood up the left side, or do they try and funnel through ammo? Because you can see there's one player, now make it two, dedicated to the right side of the map, and one player's mid-map. It's Karma by himself in this hill, and there you go. Two players coming in from the left side, and now OpTic Gaming, yeah, it's great, they have the spawns, but these aren't easy gunfights to get into the hill to win it all. So MindFreak making some solid adjustments, but you still got to come out on top of the gunfights. Spider trying to do just that.
We saw a lot more back in the beginning of the year where if you had these back spawns, it was very easy to hold this front winery push, but I feel like as time has gone on, that is not the case. MindFreak currently just contesting this hard point. Finally, Scump and Karma will challenge, but it's Dens with the three-piece that keeps it in control right now for MindFreak. Will he get the multi-kill? He does, and streaks to follow. A major individual play from Dens to bring his team within a couple.
Absolutely, and again, that's a situation where OpTic Gaming just hasn't made an adjustment. They've had the same setup on this hill for the longest time. MindFreak took their defensive setup from OpTic Gaming. That's what they do as well. But again, TK, Red Reserve, they've kind of exposed the flaw. So again, just thinking the long term of how the meta of the map adjusts. Either way, though, MindFreak, not only do they get the scrap time, not only do they get the streaks, they're going to have the setup for the next hill as well, and they should be able to take the lead on this game. And the question is, just how far can they extend it?
Well, 49-49 about to be the score. OpTic using the glide bomb, trying to break towards this hard point. You see that number 7 Karma, sorry, just sprinted on through, trying to get to the hard point, but OpTic can't break the spawns following. So, yes, the glide bomb is used. So far, they're just trying to fight for any little hill control they can get. If there's a silver lining here for OpTic Gaming fans, it's at least that they've kept MindFreak out of the hill for the most part so far, so they still have a 10-second game, but it will be OG breaking on in. Even if they get the scrap time, a very even game so far.
Secondary question for OpTic Gaming in terms of their strategy. Red Reserve, when they know the other team has a fighter pilot, how many switch to Mountain? So far, we have 0, and we're going towards the open hill. So we talk about OpTic Gaming like, yes, they're veterans, but still, there's a lot of decision-making that it seems like they haven't gone that extra mile into thinking about their gameplay. But not only is there a lack of Mountain, there's a lack of gunfights being won inside the hill for OG. MindFreak trying to take control and get the lead once again. Of course, Formal has a fighter pilot to disposal as well, but he's not even going to use it for the moment. He's just trying to find Shocks and should be able to do just that. That's 3 down in favor of OG.
And there has been so much time that's just kind of been left out in the open so far. The score still only 73-69. If this whole game plays on out, we'll do 3 full rotations with how the scores are going up to this point. OpTic trying to fight for any second they can here at the lookout post. Shocks will trade a couple back, and now it's OpTic coming off spawn, flooding towards the hill. So we have a tied game yet again.
Yeah, nice back and forth game. This is, what, the 4th or 5th time we've seen the lead change off. But either way, OpTic off the back of Formal having a very nice start to the game as well. Having a noticeable lead over at the start. It does seem, though, that MindFreak's going to be in the early control of the hill. Of course, though, OpTic, they do the pinch coming in. It's Formal coming up from the top side of the map. The rest of OpTic Gaming coming in from the bottom. And there you go. Formal continually doing damage.
OpTic now, slight edge, but again, just scrappy gameplay. I'm surprised, Chance, at how low scoring this game is that the game clock isn't lower. It's still 3 minutes and 45 seconds. I feel like with how it's played out so far, it would be a hell of a lot lower than that. Again, teams, it's just a fight for 5 seconds at a time, it seems. We haven't seen anyone really lock down a full 60 up to this point.
Not at all. And now you see Karma going for that full rotation as well. But players from MindFreak, they're going to be at least a little bit privy to it. But Scump's winning the gunfights as well. And MindFreak, they're just going to spawn all the way out. Shocks, yes, he's alive and in the hill. And it doesn't seem like OpTic Gaming is entirely aware, although Scump is trying to make sure to clear out the back. So an important gunfight here for Shocks. That does not go his way. MindFreak very far away from the next hill.
Yeah, and this is probably the toughest break setup we've seen so far from these teams in recent time on this map. Here we go. MindFreak trying to break back in. They're now down by 40. Entry kill middle map, but it's Karma watching Arch, and he's got a crossfire with Formal, who's looking over as well to help his teammate. And he's going to do just that. OpTic holding the front door for now, but they're going to have to come off spawn quick because you can see those blue arrows inching closer and closer, and there you go. The gunfight's won by Fida and Shocks. Nades coming in to zone out Formal. Again, we've seen this more and more chance, it feels like, that the team trying to push through that outside field area does a better job of contesting. This is now 20 seconds they've contested.
To OpTic's credit, though, these should be easy cleanup kills at the end. So, yeah, MindFreak puts the pressure on the left side, but OpTic did a much better job that time around. So this was a close game where I think, you know, OpTic had a slight lead on Restaurant. It has just got not completely blown out of the water, but this is the biggest lead we've seen so far, and OpTic Gaming does have time to get the rotation as well.
You know, Chance, when OpTic got 100-point club by MindFreak the last time these teams played on this map, I don't think they had 3 players positive. You know, they were definitely losing the slang as well as just kind of having the whole map fall out of their control. That's the opposite case here. They're up by 70 right now. They do have the slight slang advantage, and here comes the fighter pilot to try to clear these players out of the hill. Fida and Shock should both be dead. Buzzo now pinned in the back of the map, but oh, is that a missed call out by Karma? He's looking at the complete wrong direction. Buzzo just shoots him in the back.
And I will say, yes, those players did not have Mountain, but neither does OpTic. But both of these players have been sitting on the fighter pilot for, what, 5 or 6 minutes. Now, you can't leave Mountain on for that long. It's going to be too costly. So sometimes you just have to make concessions. Either way, though, OpTic Gaming, 1 player left alive in the hill. Crim6 probably just going to fall here, going to get traded out. The PPS age at close range as well. Trying to stay alive long enough, but not going to be the case. Shocks able to pick up 4 through that duration.
OpTic, I feel like you're happy that fighter pilot was used there for like 20 seconds instead of being used on the rotation toward lookout post. 178 to 122. OpTic in early control again. They do not have control of top red, but wow, that nade could not have been more perfectly timed. Keep in mind, Shocks on a 5 streak, and as I pointed out, he does get cut down.
There it goes, and it's worth pointing out as well, part of the problem, it seemed from our way back when, week 1 for Buzzo, was in the hard point, least amount of kills, least amount of deaths, although he's not quite the least amount of kills, and low hill time as well. He hasn't really found himself to be able to contribute. Now, sometimes the games just play out that way, so look for him to try and pick things up a little bit in these next coming hills. But either way, OpTic Gaming doing a pretty solid job. Crim's got 2 gunfights in front of him, leaves that second player weak. Should be an easy trade for Formal. There you go.
Listen, I can almost guarantee you, regardless of whoever MindFreak faces, if you have Fida at 13 and 25, they're probably going to be struggling in the hard point, right, Chance?
Absolutely. Fida, though, inside the hill, trying to get some time. So, again, a little bit scrappy. Yes, OpTic Gaming does have a pretty sizable and pretty comfortable lead, but if MindFreak does a halfway decent job on this red hill, the restaurant hill, and make sure they get the rotation, that's where OpTic Gaming kind of blew out the lead as well. MindFreak could claw their way back into it.
We'll have to see if that comes into play. Karma trying to stay alive top red. You've got Formal winning gunfights middle street. He's now 27 and 15 as he just seems to be so comfortable now with the submachine gun. The man just doesn't miss. As OpTic Gaming fans have got to love to see just how good he's been in this role for his team.
Absolutely. MindFreak is kind of stuck back as well. Now they're kind of at the decision point where, like, do they want to even try to push for this time? Because then they're risking losing spawns. Because you see, yes, they do get control of the hill, but now Karma's behind him. He has 2 players, 1 shot. Shock's just over to the side, and Karma's ready for it as well. Recognizes that, knows where 3 players are going to be positioned, even goes towards the hill. So just a very rough hill. OpTic Gaming trying to win this one here. MindFreak now has to flood in, which Dens is trying to do just that. Has to not die, because I think OpTic can win here. Yes, they put the pressure on, so MindFreak dream is not dead yet, but OG, they just need 4.
It's on its last breath, so for this final hard point here at Winery. It looks like on the opposite side of the map, Karma's trying to play spoiler for those spawns. Not going to happen quite yet. The challenge coming in from Formal. There's 2 dead. The green wall beginning to surge on through. Scump with 1 more. Karma on the pinch. Last player in the hard point is dead. GG. OpTic will take map number 1, 250 to 151.
Off the back of Formal's nice looking 31-17. Again, kind of pointed out the second hill might have been a little problematic, but that was only the case the first time around. The second time around, OpTic basically played it perfectly. I think Formal was the player that was around ammo, but he makes the rotation over to Arches incredibly quickly, so the in-game adjustments were there. What more can you say? I think everyone from OpTic went positive. Very commanding win and nice bounce back as well. Just to be like, yo, MindFreak, we got you in hardpoint. It was a fluke. Don't worry about it.
Well, it's map number 1 in the books. And yeah, I like how you put that. OpTic from the first 2 weeks of Division A now to here after that rough loss to MindFreak in the hardpoint last time to come back and say, hey, that wasn't really us there. And not only are the OpTic players happy to see that, but I'm sure the Greenwall fans as well for OpTic to now be up 1-0 and to bounce back after last night's rough loss. I think you saw Krim tweet like something like at a loss for words, like pretty frustrated with that series yesterday. But Era, they seem to be the real deal at this point so far through week 3 of Division A. But moving forward now in the series, we already mentioned they ran back map 1. We're going to run back map 2 from the last time they faced off on London Docks. And you said that one went to round 11 last time, correct, Chance?
Correct. And so we talked about the improvements that OpTic had to make in the hard point. Well, now MindFreak, their opportunity is to make some improvements in the search and destroy. So, I mean, how many round 11s did they even have on Docks the first 2 weeks that they just couldn't close out? Yep. So chalk OpTic up for another one of those. But maybe if they fix their game, I know, like, you know, the FG meta is no longer with us. Now we have a bunch of STGs. Maybe that kind of manipulates the way that MindFreak wants to play on London Docks. There's any number of factors that at least gives MindFreak the opening to have a better game. But then at the same time, you look at OpTic, think about some of the individual performances they have had on this map. This is where, when they were going toe-to-toe against Rise, where Crim6 dropped like 16 or 17 kills for the loss, but still, he's been looking pretty nice in search.
Yeah, and couldn't agree more on that one. As we see MindFreak discussing after map number 1. Excited to see how they play things out on London Docks Search and Destroy. This is just match 4 of 5 tonight. Still to come for many people, a match that decides a lot moving forward in these coming weeks. It's a match involving Red Reserve and Rise Nation, right? Or am I completely wrong?
I didn't even listen to the question. Sorry.
It's been a lot of castings.
I heard you were talking about Rise Nation towards the end.
Is Rise and Red next?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. I'm second-guessing myself at this point.
See, my question was going to be, Rise played against MindFreak on this exact map. And obviously, if you watch the map, you can learn a bunch of things about MindFreak. And I was going to ask you,
yeah,
I think the likelihood is that OpTic Gaming took the time to just game plan for MindFreak. Do you think they went back, watched the VODs, and said, this is what they do? No, not even a little bit?
I don't think so.
Not even the benefit of the doubt for the guys?
No, I don't think that's what they did.
Okay.
Knowing OpTic, I think they scrimmed a lot of Valkyrie, and that's it. No, they definitely practiced between weeks. A lot of 8s were played, some scrims here and there, but overall, they come into this one well prepared. I can tell you right now, they hate losing. And that match yesterday.
Does anyone like losing though?
No, but OpTic, when they're trying to, I think at this point for you, is the dynasty over for OpTic?
It's 2 open events that they haven't won. They just came back and won champs. Like, they could lose every single event, and then if they win champs this year, it's like, oh yeah, Dynasty's still here. So like, I don't deal with all that chatter. It's useless. It's useless talk to from my perspective. They're fine.
Okay. I don't know. I mean, that's a discussion that I think will.
But then to talk about like meaningless statements, you're like, OpTic hates losing. Well, everyone does, but they've also lost the last 2 events, and like, yes, they look quite a bit better than they have at the open events. Yeah. I mean, sort of. Like, they got top 3rd, then top 12. They were 6-1, but then like they lose the Era. MindFreak kind of takes some hard points off of them. Like, at what point? And you even said you don't even think they're going to game plan too hard for MindFreak. Like, yes, you hate losing, but they don't go above and beyond. Like, this team with this roster should be wiping the floor with teams, especially back boots on the ground, man. Like, the 4 legendary players, right? Like, I don't know. I'm not convinced. Like, yes, everyone hates losing.
I doubt they want to be remembered as maybe the advanced movement dynasty team. They want to bring their reign of terror back to.
That would be the most awkward series of events where every single person just got it wrong.
Well,
they'll be fine.
We'll see exactly what's happening. Sorry for the wait.
Is the
being told MindFreak take a long time to set up their classes compared to other teams, so blame them.
I mean, the dynasty literally can't be over until like the roster just ceases to exist, right? Because like, even if they have a bad year, let's say Call of Duty hypothetically lasts for another 7 years going strong and they dominate until they're 95, then like a couple bad events, maybe even a bad year, doesn't matter. We got a ridiculous amount of Call of Duty to be played. We got the rest of these weeks, we got playoffs, then we have an entire other season, plus like 4 more open events or something ridiculous like that on top of champs. Whatever it is. So, no, OpTic Gaming definitely going to try and return to form. Either way, though, MindFreak, they're going to be on offense first. A lot of times their setup, they play very spread out across the map, and they play for picks. We'll see if they do something similar here, Jack.
Let's see if it happens. Smoke off middle. In the Expeditionary class, trying to play some mind games. Karma sees right through it as he's already at front beer.
And this is a hard read from OpTic Gaming to kind of indicate that, yes, they did their research, because they basically gave up A completely, surrounded this B bomb site, and that's where everyone from MindFreak is.
Yep.
Or Scump, though, wins that first gunfight. That bomb it isn't necessarily stuck, and they might actually be able to get the plant, because you see Karma, he's thinking about the flank, not mid-map control, and that bomb is getting planted for mid.
Yeah, it's a very challenging gunfight for Karma if he does go for that flank. Bomb does get planted in the 3-on-3. Karma got some great timing out of Shocks. I'm not sure if he was spotted. He'll rotate back towards middle, and it looks like they'll begin to develop towards this side of the map. 29 seconds remaining, and here comes the pressure. They know one's underground. Do they expect Buzzo to be around this corner?
They do, but Buzzo's still able to win one gunfight. Scump's going for the trade. He's able to do just that, but the player inside, it's trades on trades, and now Formal, he has to push. Shocks is just going to play for time. He just has to stay alive, and Shocks, because Formal just shot, knows that he is there. I don't think Formal has enough time. You got to get 7.5 seconds, so very nice play by Shocks, but that's the situation. OpTic Gaming, they get first blood. They kind of give up the bomb plant because Karma's thinking about the flank, and then they just take such a long time to go for the trades. Now, granted, they were just, a couple bullets away from clutching up, but solid first round for MindFreak.
Yeah, and it's crazy. You typically see maybe one person get towards underpass, but to kind of play that entire side of the map, even with Shocks, all the way towards back garage, the clock is so in favor of MindFreak in that scenario. Now up 1-0, what can OpTic Gaming do on the offensive?
Smoking out, going straight to A. That bomb is going to be leading the charge. That's Karma, but he does have a player on the other side, Fida, that he might have to deal with. But Scump, obviously, rocking the STG as well. Scump is actually pretty disgusting with this at times. Either way, though, Karma, he's just going to get picked off. So there you go. First blood towards MindFreak.
First blood towards MindFreak. Formal still by these beer stairs. Crimsic's going to be the one to make the next play, and Buzzo turns at the worst time. Free kill for Crim. He's going to get challenged here from water stairs, but immediately snaps onto Dens to make it a 2v1. And there's the cleanup. OG tie it 1-1.
And that should not happen. That's a gunfight Crim should not win. And he's shaking his hand. I don't know if his hand's cold because his shot is looking very, very warm.
I like that.
Either way, though, yeah, that's about as good as it gets for OpTic Gaming that round. Nice bounce back. Crim's looking good. We talked about the individual performance he's had. Just gets 3 that round. Has a nice nade. Has a gunfight that's just absurd. But either way, MindFreak back on the attack. They showed off a little bit of new stuff. Instead of going for the full 4-man spread, they did it off the rip, but then they focused on B. It looks like we might have something pretty similar here in this situation. It's actually not the case. Shocks is going to be playing aggressive. No, he's not. He's hanging back now. So, yeah, similar spot. Crim 6, though, that's just not even a bullet he absorbs in that situation. Easy first blood.
And Karma keeps getting in towards Beer. At some point, I feel like that's going to spell disaster for MindFreak. They've spotted Dens, and yet Karma's already pushed up. Again, there you go. I knew it was going to come into play at some point. They keep giving Karma so much map positioning. And right there, it pays off for OpTic Gaming.
And all what MindFreak really has to do to kind of expose that defensive setup, it's just go to A. They're having no pressure A. They're putting a lot of pressure mid-map on the water steps, and then Karma kind of pushes up into Beer. But if MindFreak would just go A, which they have almost never shown, again, if they can make the mid-game adjustments, maybe MindFreak can at least get a one decent offensive round. But either way, they got to clutch up on defense as well. OpTic Gaming trying to get 3 in a row.
OpTic, we know they like to favor A, especially with those smokes. Formal does know at least one cross towards that mid-statue. That's a well-placed nade. It's not going to hit Dens, and it's Scump getting first blooded by Shocks.
Another first blood to go MindFreak's way. Have a nice 2-2 split. However, OpTic has clutched 1 3v4 before. It's a little bit different situation because the kills didn't instantly get traded out, because now OpTic isn't just, we got to play for picks mode. You see the rotations coming back to B, because that's where Crim 6 is trying to lead that charge. Buzzo, by the way, 1 shot.
Wait, they had no one watch the cross.
Hunting.
Crim 6 has made it up into this close corner. Yeah, no one watches the cross. Crim just sprints forward, challenges Buzzo, and now it's Karma with another kill on the Dens. Unacceptable setup for MindFreak there.
And again, just not good in-round adjustments. Now Karma gets the bomb down, gets out with his life as well, and you see Crim6 is very close to streaks. Now you just leave it for Formal and Karma.
Ooh. All right, that's the opening. There's another.
Wow.
Crim, to clutch this round, would need to get both these kills, obviously, but also would get him fully streaked out. That's not going to happen. MindFreak, I said how poorly it was set up for them as they let that plant go down, but you can make the same argument back for OpTic as they just challenged 3 gunfights that they really didn't need to.
Got to win the gunfights, man. But yeah, Crim6 there, I think it's a tough call. Like, do you try and win the round or do you try and go for streaks? He tried to win the round and he got paid the price. And if you get those, maybe they guarantee another round. So it's an interesting debate. I don't think there's really correct answer there, though.
I guess the other thing is all of them just stationary, kind of just get gunned by the player peeking. Do you want to see them maybe shoulder peeking more, not leaving themselves out so open? Scump gets first blooded again at lower docks. There's a second kill now. Buzzo gets challenged by Karma to put it to a 2v2.
Yeah, Buzzo just getting stunned out there. Fighter, though, still in the aggression. Spots Formal out. They have the opportunity to get the bomb down. Denz is going to do just that. Now Fighter needs to not die, and he is able to get out of dodge. Ooh. Denz doing a very nice job watching the cross. Just got to win the gunfight. Now it's going to be Karma in a 1v2, and he does not last long. You see the crossfire coming in, but it's what we were trying to say. MindFreak, they have the opportunity to go A. Scump was playing very aggressive by himself in tin, and then, of course, he gets team shot. So maybe Scump gets the first blood, but even if he does that, instantly gets traded out, and then you see MindFreak has control. So now the question is, does OpTic Gaming stack that or maybe play a little bit more passive the next round on defense? Always got to think about the meta game of the search and destroy.
I like that. I like that. What do they do on offense this time around? Looks like they will slowly develop towards A. And this position is something that we've seen from TJ before when just protecting those lower docks. He just plays all the way in underground. Denz challenges middle and Formal's ready for him with that AR.
Just gets him by a bullet, and Crim6 win his one-on-one gunfight as well. So the gunfight dominance coming out on top so far for this round for OpTic, but we've seen a clutch before.
And Crim killing Buzzo. They know that's the only guy that's been playing B, so what do? They instantly send 3 over there. They go for this plant. Makes a lot of sense. They've begun to recognize that MindFreak setup.
Yeah, and Karma is basically just a sacrificial lamb in that situation. He's going to die on bomb. Formal, of course, behind enemy lines. He should have at least one easy kill for him, despite the fact that a player actually just ran right behind him. That is Call of Duty timing at its finest. But
oh my goodness,
he'll have the kill. That's no problem. Crim6 will just take it for himself. Either way, he wants to have nice stats, man. He's 8-3. He's having a good game.
Fighter here is just going to play for his streaks. If we look at the side of OpTic, so this makes sense. They know they killed the bomb planter, so Karma's not going to earn these points with the bomb exploding. You might as well play streaks left in a 1v3 if you're Fighter here. 2 kills, a bomb plant and a kill. A bomb plant and an assist would earn him streaks in this game. Well within reach, and the game just going to be 3-3. Makes sense.
And so now, of course, Fighter has the opportunity. He can take the bomb next round. I think he'll need a plant and a kill, or just a plant and let the bomb explode. But this means MindFreak, they might take the chance to just try and force the bomb plant down. Take some smokes over to B, smoke out mid-cut. Make sure you don't push too far through lights. And if you get it down, you might be able to get out of dodge. And it looks like they're just going to go for the bit of a spread once again. Actually, Fighter playing very aggressive over on these steps.
We've seen MindFreak before just not give their guy who's close to streaks the bomb, no matter what the scenario is. Here comes Fighter for the challenge on Scump. Scump having a rough game in lower dock so far, it feels like. 2 versus 2, now 2v1. Fighter by himself.
Yeah, and Shox was by himself as well, out in no man's land, and then Crim6 actually loses the gunfight. There you go. That is huge. He gets one, looking for more. He's still weak, though. Doesn't want to challenge. He's just trying to keep Formal distracted. Might be trying to waste enough bullets to figure out when he reloads, and there you go. Has one opening, and now he's free to make a move.
Wow, look at this pacing. Oh, they both just go out of each other's sights.
And check where that bomb is down. Not near Fido.
Oh, that's fun. That's fun, though. Does Formal think he crossed back to B? It does appear so. 35 seconds left. Does he just wait for Fido to go for a plant? I mean, does he? He's got to be worried about these streaks, right? If Fido plants his bomb, he earns everything.
And more importantly, if he plants the bomb, he has streaks to just kind of certifiably win the round. So yeah, he'll have the glide bomb. Now Fido can run all the way to the back of the map, sit underground, sit in whatever lonely dark corner you want. Just wait a couple seconds, calling the streak. But at the same time, you got to get the timing right because you don't want Formal to defuse. Formal, though, still a little bit far away from this bomb.
And he's got to know there's no mountain on Formal at this point, right? Didn't see him there. Don't think Formal spotted him either. Now he'll get eyes on. No glide bomb yet. This is a tough, tough gunfight. Oh, he can see that bomb getting picked up and dropped. Formal tries to challenge. He's one shot. Now he should just streak, right? There you go. Should get there in time. Yep. Formal can't get away. Nice use of streaks there to win the round.
What do you think about using the mortar over the glide bomb? This is an incredibly small detail. He makes the right play, wins the round. Very solid job from Fida, but I think the glide bomb probably a more valuable streak, you'd say? Like, would you rather just use the mortar to keep him off the bomb, or do you just guarantee the kill there?
With 18 seconds left in that round, I think when he called him that streak, I think if Formal sprints right at him, gets that kill as he calls in the streak, and runs back, he can still defuse in time.
Either way, again, Fida makes the right
But here's what I'm
play.
saying. He knows he doesn't have Mountain, right? So glide bomb is basically a guaranteed kill versus mortar, where Formal sprinted right at him unless he placed one on the bomb and then two at, trailing at him. There might have been a chance where Formal dodges the mortar, kills him, and runs back to defuse at like 7.7 on the clock. I don't know. You can make an argument for either way. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe I'm just going slightly insane.
Yeah, I mean, he gets the round win. Ultimately, it really doesn't matter. Just something to think about, I guess. But Shox, though, evening things out, this is another situation where, not just OpTic Gaming, but where a team gets first blood and then someone just gets picked off with no trades coming into sight. Now Buzzo, he's in a very common spot. Scump makes the right read, has the right gun for the occasion as well. Of course, Fida still has streaks, but working at a man disadvantage. Question is, does he check every corner? Because Scump is in this back building. Fida looks like he's going to be mildly prepared for it, but not an easy gunfight to win. And yeah, Scump's just going to come out on top. So there you go. Good round for OpTic.
I feel like every round we've seen so far, Scump has been involved in one of those extremely close moments where he can either make it a 4v3 in favor of his team, or it'll become a 3v4. There it was, would it become a 3v2 for OpTic or a 3v2 for MindFreak? He wins it there to give him the advantage, but Scump's sitting at that 6-5 now. I feel like every kill or death he's had has been right in one of those moments.
Still, though, with the streaks in the hands of Fida, you have to imagine they have at least a small advantage here. If they get the bomb down, they should just be able to win the round. Now, it's basically MindFreak. Just make sure you don't get picked off. And so, Shox just figured out there are 2 players over by the A site. We should be able to overpower them in B. You just can't get picked off.
And Krim does have Mountain on if a streak does come into play. Karma does not, on the other hand. Bomb now getting planted. I hear them saying of native bomb and native bomb, will it kill the player? That's not going to happen. And now on a 4v4 with the ability to play all the way in the back of the map, I don't see how they lose this round.
And Fida should just run, though. He has the streaks. He shouldn't be one of the first guys to take a gunfight, because now OpTic has an interesting opportunity to get the retake. And there you go. Formal gets the first blood. It's going to be a 3v3. Of course, OpTic doesn't have a lot of time, but Karma gets the second. Denz is going to be able to challenge one now, but now he's by himself. His teammate's coming in the back. Shox able to get one, coming down to the 1v1, and he comes out on top. MindFreak, man, they make it interesting, but damn it if they don't make it fun.
Shox clutches the 1v1 gunfight. He knew Crim6 had to challenge. Wins that round for his team, and they're 1 round away from tying the series 1-1.
Oh my God, it just pains me. Like, why not Fida just run away and go play in the round? Like, maybe you don't want to get
why is he not the one in the back garage?
Just guarantee the win, because if you don't guarantee it, like if they lose that round, if Shox doesn't win that gunfight, now they're down 5-4. Now you have to use the streaks because you're trying to win 2 rounds. Of course, though, OpTic full well knowing that the streaks are going to be there. And Fida's just playing so aggressive with it. Sees a player over fire. And there you go, Crim6 first blood. And that's the worst player you want out of it for OpTic. Krim with 13 kills, but now it's up to Formal and Karma.
Now it's up to Karma.
Jeez.
We're about to have ourselves a 1-1 series. OpTic said their search and destroy was their weakness, and it's showing right here. Karma now a 1v3, no bomb in hand. Everything stacked against him.
Got spotted as well. Denz definitely saw him. He's trapped in from both sides. He has to go lower, but you can even see Shox. He's sitting mid-map just to watch the cross out to the outset. MindFreak, incredible last round, actually. That was probably the most dominant one we've seen.
Yeah.
They only used 1 streak. He only used 1 streak in the 1v1, had 2 more at his disposal. You don't need the streaks if you can do it with your guns. Solid game number 2. We saw improvements from OpTic in the first map. We saw improvements from MindFreak in the second. This does have the makings of another Game 5, Jack.
Oh, my goodness. How many would that be today? 3 or 4?
Enough.
A lot. A lot. As we will have a brief moment between games 2 and 3. MindFreak and OpTic Gaming, we've got another series on our hands tonight, folks. Can MindFreak beat OpTic this time around? We'll have to find out here soon. Don't go anywhere. More CWL action in a moment. MindFreak have brought the series back to a 1-1 tie against OpTic Gaming as they win that S&D and pretty much control for the majority of it. Some questionable decisions, but in the end, they win it 6-4.
From both sides, I'd say, though. Like, nobody's perfect. Everyone can just improve in certain capacities. But yeah, MindFreak played it pretty well. They finally were able to close out a time search and destroy. So you do appreciate, again, just the teams improving as time goes on. OpTic Gaming improved on the same hard point. Yep. Again, I was questioning why they allowed that one through after getting a 100-point club. I know a lot of people had question marks, but they were like, we're confident on it. We're going to make the proper adjustments. They did exactly that. They executed very well. Formula had himself a very nice game. Prim had a nice game, too. So there's definitely positives all the way around, though. But for CTF, which, Jack, I can just feel the excitement coming across from you. But MindFreak versus OpTic, like, I know, like, your problem specifically, right, is just the stalemates, the slower nature of the forest. But yeah, I'm telling you, man, MindFreak, they just have ways of making this map chaotic.
Then I'm rooting for MindFreak.
Well, I don't know. You don't have to just be biased, but
no. MindFreak all day, baby. You know I'm half Australian.
Do they have a hashtag? Does MindFreak have a hashtag? Well, they do now from the listeners, actually. But That's outside of that. That's if MindFreak is able to pull off the upset here. Either way, though, again, the reason I think MindFreak is able to make things chaotic is just basically going for like the sneak pulls. I think they do a pretty good job of getting behind enemy lines. The issue for them is I think OpTic Gaming is actually probably one of the better teams of keeping track of players and knowing when they have a lane that is open. So I don't know if it'll get overly chaotic, but I definitely think that OpTic is pretty solid at keeping control. But that is if they win the gunfights, and Shock's just got the first two.
Yeah, and a lot of times you can't give up those first 2 kills in the middle map, or else your player that's watching the outside no man's land lane will get overwhelmed. Thankfully for OpTic, it's Formal who actually answers back with 2 kills of his own. Let's start up the map right away. And Astro Gaming listening with OpTic Gaming.
I have left Gaming.
I'm
Hold
stunned,
this.
yeah, I have your right.
Just watch my right.
Staring at ice. They're just holding.
And, he's in broken one-shot dens. In broken absolute. He ran back their side.
Still holding ice. Still got my
Den's
mid.
dead.
Is it him?
One's ramp, weak
Still
with
watching
the
ice.
sub. Weak with the sub.
Back right, one shot.
Keep pulling mid. Yep.
One guy's back broken, he challenged.
Still holding.
He's, yeah, he's pushing right now.
Ramp weak.
Ramp still.
One guy
Okay.
broken on Seth.
Giving up mid. I'm
Broken
giving up mid. Going broken.
I think there's
Broken,
2
one more
Seth.
broken. Yep, and broken Shocks. He's weak. I hit him once.
Back up. One's back ice.
Nice.
Still
Nice.
cabin,
Nice.
nice.
One's
Dens in
mid,
fighter.
one's
Dens
ice.
in fighter.
One's ice.
Coming up middle right now.
Still holding cabin, guys. Waiting.
He's on me. Tank.
Nice one. That's a big one.
Nice, I'm going
Still
through
holding
middle.
ice. I'm still
Sort of
holding
close
ice.
to streaks.
You could be my mid. I'm
Yo,
pushing.
left ramp. Left ramp.
Every middle, left ramp stunned.
Coming up.
One's very back left ramp. Close left ramp. Fighter.
Underground. One shot on the bridge.
One's to your left, Matt.
Yo, yellow. Right here. Close right. Close right. Close right.
I
I
think
think one guy pushed behind you, Matt.
Shocks.
Nice. Let's go.
Cabin in cabin. Fighter. He's
They're
going
gonna
back
start
out to
cabin. They're
middle.
gonna start cabin.
Go
Yeah,
back
I'm
up to
wrapping
middle.
over.
Look like.
Is that they might?
Back flag. One
One's
shot.
army, one's army,
Absolute
one's
dens
army.
on their flag.
I'm in closest
Absolute
guy.
on
He's
their
gonna be
flag,
pushed
dens.
up mid, I
Help me
think.
bunker.
Maybe
Holding
pushed up mid, I
fire.
think.
I'm wrapping back to
I'll
you.
get in your bunker.
Or I'm holding mid.
First weak. First weak.
I'm getting in your bunker.
I am.
You're in? Okay.
I'm fire tank.
Native
Oh, I
first.
got shit on.
Nice.
Oh, yo, cabin cut him first. I think.
Right side army.
Cabin cut him first.
One's cabin cut still. Cabin cut got me. Cabin cut.
Nice.
Coming, I got
Cabin
you
cut him
cross.
first. First last guy.
I got.
Okay.
Nice.
Dead.
Four.
Yeah, I'm running
I'll
right
tell
to
you,
bridge.
one spawn,
Fight
fight
us
us,
up, fight us
sub.
up.
I spawn
Yeah.
right with you. I spawn right with you.
Yeah.
Nade flag right now.
I dominated
I'm
on
coming right
it.
as well. I'm coming right as
Nade
well.
on flag,
I'll
nade
stun
on
over.
Pushed.
I'll stun
One
over.
shot fighter. He's going in broken. He ran in. Close left.
I'm stunning over,
Weak on the flag ramp.
Yeah.
I'm stunning over. I'm coming.
He's right here.
I got one.
On their flag. On their
On
flag.
flag.
On flag. Looking at me. Ice.
Close right.
Dead.
Back right.
I got naded.
Shock's last guy. Shock's last guy.
Fight is up two. Fight is up two.
Just
Yo,
spawn.
they're gonna spawn cabin. You gotta
Coming,
go for it, Matt.
Trying to.
Gonna be
I'm stunning
ice.
over, Matt.
Back flag
nice
got me.
try, nice
Shocks.
Wrap back.
And ice.
Gonna be right here.
Yeah,
Right
gonna be
flag.
first. One still back flag. Shocks. He's gonna hard aim you.
Yeah.
No
Barrels.
mans.
Nice.
Two. One
Okay.
more
One's to
probably
the
in
left
bunker,
ramp. They're left ramp.
No, he's on the heady. He's
Broken.
He's no man's.
I'm coming to you. That's a huge win, Seth.
I'm
Stay
just
alive.
holding
Stay alive.
Dead.
Nice,
Dead.
Seth.
Huge
Good
one.
shit, bro.
Good Damon.
Up.
He's
He's on the ramp.
close.
Damon on the ramp. Damon hurt. One shot on the ramp. Absolute.
Dead.
In the mid.
Nice.
Stunning over.
That
He's on the
Back
ramp.
left.
Damon.
Back left dead.
Under bridge. Last guy.
I'm not blocking cabin.
He's under bridge. Got me. Full health.
Oh shit. Yo, they're gonna suck
Nice.
cabin.
Back right. I got
Nice, Matt. Good shit.
Nice.
Shock's up. He just spawned.
Yep.
He's probably already
I'll go streaks
across.
If I get this, I'll go
One
streaks.
cross. I
Yeah,
just
you
saw
already
one cross. I
crossed.
saw
Need a
one
bunker.
cross.
Need a bunker.
I'm stunning our flag.
He's weak on bunker somewhere.
Kill this guy.
Yeah. I'm framing our flag.
One barrel.
Last guy.
Close.
Push
Barrels.
On flag.
Barrels.
On
Push
flag.
for me.
That's out of barrel
Dead.
dead.
Nice.
Barrel's
Good
dead.
job.
I
shit,
Could be
guys.
in bunker, maybe.
Alright, fight a buzzo.
Nice
Going
shit,
first.
boys.
Going first.
Watch
I'm
your.
gonna play from my artillery.
I'm going bell. Pick up
Cabin
fire.
heady, guys.
One's
Cabin heady.
army. I'm one shot.
I'm looking
I
cabin
got,
cut.
I'm helping cabin.
Look in your cabin cut.
Cabin wall.
Coming to you, Seth. Keep
I'm holding
holding.
you. I'm holding you. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get you
Cabin cut.
broken.
They couldn't go fire, right? Or can they?
One's
I got one.
army.
King army.
I got one wall. One more wall set.
Wall.
Watch out wall.
Army's just sitting there. Army.
pushing you.
Army
Wall right
buzzo.
here.
Army buzzo.
Nice.
You might come cabin cut to you.
I go fire cut.
Fire. He's cabin cut. Cabin cut. I'm behind him.
Yeah, cabin cut got me, Damon.
This one on flag.
Nice.
Where's Buzzo?
No, I don't think so.
Where's
I'm
Buzzo?
gonna
One
go
guy
push
was
up.
army. Fighter.
This
guy
first.
first.
Outside of first.
Watch your fire.
I'm watching Bill.
First challenge me weak. He's
I'll
weak
pick up
first. So
mid,
one's
Matt.
cabin. Weak first. One's cabin cut.
Oh, he's close bunker.
Close bunker.
Backing up.
2, 3 bunker.
Three at our base.
On the
Stun.
inside. On the inside with the sub.
Yep.
Clear light.
Inside,
Clear light.
Damon,
I got
I'm
you,
playing
Matt.
close left,
I got you.
close
I'm
left.
wrapping back. I'm wrapping back.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's gonna be outside, Damon.
Shit,
Yeah.
Damon.
Outside, Buzzer. Dead.
Middle.
Outside.
Inside. One shot.
Fire,
Dens. Right corner.
One shot two.
There's two there.
He's waiting
Dens
for me,
is
he's
close,
waiting
right?
No, it's only one. Only one.
Okay.
I naded barrels. I naded far
He was
barrels.
close right
He
corner
ran away
before.
He ran away to barrel.
With fire. He's out somewhere.
Nice. That's
Seven,
him.
seven.
Good shit.
Pushing out.
I'm gonna hold broken.
Spawned in
Cabin cut.
bunker.
Going first.
I'm only broken right now.
Cabin on me.
I love that listen and chance. What really stood out for you from the callouts from OpTic Gaming?
That has to be one of the cleanest like listen-ins we've ever had in terms of OpTic Gaming. Like everything was almost pristine. There was almost zero useless chatter. It was just straight up information from all four players, keeping track of it. Meanwhile, Buzz was trying to pull the flag, and actually now that Formal's going to fall mid-map, the flag should be able to get all the way out. The only one in position to stop it's going to be Karma. And I don't think he's going to be able to do it. Too many players are going to be set up. The streaks, though, are going to be coming in over top. But still, there is quite a bit of time because of the extra time. Glide Bomb doesn't even hit anybody. Scum trying to make the hero play. Able to get one, trying to come up behind the player as well. But yeah, he's not going to be able to hunt him down. So there you go. MindFreak doing a pretty solid job to tie it up. But just to answer the question now, after MindFreak gets the flag cap, no wasted information. Everything is just every player taking their turns. Here's where all the players are. We get the kills, instant reaction from everybody. That's forward, let's push, let's push. Here's where they're gonna spawn. Here's the player order that they're gonna spawn. Here's where to look at. And then like even towards the end, you see your Karma, he's like, all right, like how are we gonna pinch this? There's 2 guys in Hill. And Crimson's like, no, there's only 1. And they're like, oh, okay. So they respond to each other. It's like an open conversation. They're not cluttered at all. It's just as good as it gets, Jack.
Well, a lot of positives to take from the OpTic Gaming listening, but we didn't hear the moments where they kind of gave up that flag cap to tie up the game 1-1. Stats pretty even between these two teams. Slight slang advantage to OpTic, but nothing too noticeable up to this point. No surprise here to see how slow the start of this half is. Neither team wanted to give up the first kill. 30 seconds in, still not a single kill in the second half.
And Buzzo just desperately wants streaks, and OpTic Gaming might very well be aware of that. Of course, he's the man that got the flag cap in, so that might be why both teams are like, hey, let's have no one die until we figure out where Buzzo is, just to make sure that we can single him out. But, of course, it's just STGs everywhere. MindFreak right now in decent control of the map. OpTic Gaming, though, trying to apply some pressure, but yeah, this is a very slow half.
I love how Buzzo's just a turret right now. He's just not leaving that position of cover inside bunker. His only goal is getting these streaks.
And neither is Krim. Like, they've just been staring at each other for the longest time. And there you go. Krim has him one shot, but
look,
what can you do?
Scum pinches. There's the kill. Buzzo dead. That makes 2. Do they check the first hard point? The hero now could be Shocks. Here comes the pressure from Bunker. Gives away his position and gets immediately traded. Furthest pushed up now is Dens. Will Formal spot him? He does. And this is going to be a tough gunfight for Crim6.
This has to be the most pre-aim heavy like CTF that we've ever seen. Den's making the play as well. That's a very nice read.
Got away so
allow
far.
the flag carrier to slip forward, but yeah, he might just be a little bit too far behind. I don't even think the stuns or nades are going to come in. And there you go, OpTic Gaming off the back of Scump going on the flank. Going to be up 2-1, and now Krim has streaks potentially of his own.
When I tell you that, every fraction of a second just went in favor of Crim6 right there in regards to first when he got the help from Scump or to trade the kill onto Shocks. Second, as he went and peeked that corner and ran into Cabin Alley, it was Dens who had just given up that angle for a second to peek towards middle. Then as he went around ice, then as that nade was about a fraction of a second behind him, then as he actually capped the flag. Wow, those timings could not have worked out more perfectly for OpTic Gaming.
And all because it was just MindFreak that gave up a lane. Meanwhile, we already saw that Formal had a fighter pilot. Now Crim6 double streaked out. So this is looking like a game that should almost certainly go OpTic Gaming's way.
Dens does kill off Krim, who was watching Bell. And he gets a second on the Formal. So there's the opening now for MindFreak. And Fight is going to say, you know what? I'll leave my teammates to get that kill. Let me push forward and try to make a play happen. But it's Karma with the SCG who shuts the door.
And the option for OpTic Gaming here is endless. They don't have to push up. They could play like they did in the first minute and a half and just all post up with STGs. Never stop pre-aiming whatever lane you want. You can see, though, they're trying to apply a little bit of pressure over towards you, and that's going to be 2 down. So MindFreak, they have an opportunity on the attack.
MindFreak, under 2 minutes left. Let's go to an Astro Gaming listen-in with the Australian squad.
Left, all the way back.
Glide bomb.
I'm getting in. I'm getting inside.
Attack him, back right, tag. Formal. Back right. Put Mountain on. He's got a fighter as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's on the base. Absolutely. Nice one. He's aiming.
Below the bridge.
He's
We're
aiming.
rolling.
One shot. I had to push him there.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm standing over, healing him.
Wait, so yeah, he's got a fucking fighter pilot.
Stunned him. Hey, he's tagging the left corner under bridge.
Wait, one's in our base, by the way.
I killed him.
Is that?
No.
Watch the middle. Hey,
Oh,
nice.
sorry,
One shot.
Wait, I've got a nade. Wait. I'm just nading the back.
Hey, full field. Nice. Hey, below the bridge. Going to the. He's laying there still.
Fuck. He's still on the ramp. He's on the mini ramp, and then one came from Creek.
Trying to hold fourth.
We don't
Maybe
yeah.
ramp,
Wait,
maybe ramp,
do we have
maybe
smokes?
ramp, maybe
MindFreak. Some words stand out more than others when they call out, and let's just say it wasn't a good one that time around, as they knew they had a chance in that push, but it was another 2-piece swing that gave the trade into OpTic's favor.
Absolutely, this is desperation mode now as well, and like, what can you even do? Like, how do you deal with Karma on the wood head glitch with an STG? 17 and 13, having a nice game, and that's with Crim6 with streaks, and Formal with streaks, and Scump has been playing pretty phenomenally as well. Keep in mind, he's the player that made the flank that basically gave them the first cap, or the second cap, excuse me, to take the first real lead they've had. Now, though, MindFreak, they gotta fly, and there's just so much that they have to do in these situations. They gotta get past Scump. That's a decent start.
20 seconds left. Fighter pilot now. Mountain on everybody. Could help MindFreak here. Crim trades the first kill. 14 seconds remaining. They've just got to sprint forward at this point. One person in position. Dens is dead. The last one up is Buzzo. And it looks like he's snuck through for a second. Will he grab this? He can run. Will he grab the flag in time? He does. He's grabbed the flag. Extra time has been engaged. He's still alive. Still alive. There you go. That's it. Good try from Buzzo. OpTic Gaming win it.
And what a solid game as well. I mean, keep in mind the situation we had at the start of that kind of stalemate without a flag pool. It was Buzzo was a kill off streaks. It was Scump that goes on the full flank to take Buzzo down, stops the streaks, and then that converts into a flag cap their own. But Scump is the one that gets that cap in. It turns out to be Crim6, and then Crim6 gets streaks off that as well. Of course, that ignores the entirety of the first half as well, but it just goes to show you have just the tense situation for a minute and a half at the start of the round. Whoever comes out on top can win the game.
I think the big thing to take away too there was, as you mentioned, Chance, they were looking for where Buzzo is. They knew he was on some sort of streak. They recognized that, hey, he's the one not moving in bunker. He's the turret looking for a free engagement victory down near the cabin and no man's land side. Crim6, who was at cabin cover that whole time, does not over-challenge once, does not let himself even get a death via an assist that gave Buzzo the streaks. They lived through it all. No one challenges that area. And even though it took a full minute plus to make that happen, OpTic knew playing it patient, holding that lane was more important than feeding Buzzo streaks.
And you'd have to imagine they knew, because again, we listened to their the listen-in, or the Astro Gaming listen-in, for the entire time until MindFreak got that cap in the final seconds. It was Buzzo that got the cap, so I'd have to imagine OpTic is like, all right, we gave that one up. Buzzo's going to be close to streaks, but he doesn't have it. We need to make sure we shut him down, because again, their call-outs were just, they were on point. Like, we heard useless chatter from MindFreak, right? Like, there were just moments where it wasn't just straight-up information, and sometimes there was just downtime in a game, but from OpTic, it was just a conversation of who's coming off spawn, just anything on the map that was relevant to know. And this is purely just like out of the game as well. They were able to provide, and in-game, they're even making some nice plays. I think Scump had a moment where he's trying to stop the overextension from MindFreak, and he comes up behind two players' bunker. We actually saw him. He had the opportunity to push through cabin cut, but he backs off and just waits an extra 3-4 seconds, because then MindFreak expects him to move on to the fire cut instead. So good individual plays, amazing comps from OpTic Gaming. Close game, overall 2-1, so MindFreak played it just fine. But yeah, 2-1 in the series. The question is, do we see a game 5?
Do we see a game 5 with London Docks Hardpoint up next? Who knows? I can't see the future. Will OpTic Gaming win their third respawn of this series? And will they show that, hey, even though MindFreak won both hardpoints last time we faced off, we are the better team, in our opinion. As Crim6 tries to lead his troops back on track after the loss yesterday to Era. Still, remember, there's one more series to go tonight, and it could be one of the closest ones of the day. It's Rise Nation versus Red Reserve, but then again, you can make an argument on the other side with how good Rise have looked, and it should be a stomp in one way over the other.
And who knows which way that stomping is going to go.
Right.
Pretty much everybody. But I don't know. London Docks, the question essentially is can MindFreak force the game 5? Do we think they have enough in him for the hard point? It's going to be a very tough sell for them, right? Like OpTic Gaming, when they beat TK on this map, this is where like Formal was setting records. Like they have consistently, at the very least, outslayed their opponents by pretty substantial margins on this map. I don't know if I'd go far enough to say it's their best hardpoint map, but it's definitely probably in the top 2. So high expectation for OpTic Gaming to be able to close this one out 3-1. But MindFreak, this is what championship caliber teams are supposed to be made out of. Teams that can clutch up when their back is against the wall. Do they have what it takes?
Do they have what it takes? Let's see if they do. We're watching Scump as he pushes right towards lower docks off the break for OpTic Gaming. Crim6 with first blood. OpTic Gaming with the first point of the board.
And he is going all the way through tin, but he is going to check, actually, potentially this corner. Yeah, he's going to see Shox as well, but Shox able to come out on top. And meanwhile, Crim6 is just hanging out inside of the hard point. He's going to have 2 kills to his name, looking for more as well. He's going to fall down to the hands of Buzzo, and it's worth pointing out, for the moment, MindFreak, they have the spawns that they want. Although OpTic Gaming on the right side of your screen, they might be making the push forward. Meanwhile, they just won 3 gunfights. Last player in the hill, Scump gets him as well. He manages to get 3 on that duration.
And Chance, something we really haven't talked too much about as we see who can fight for these spawns for the new hill is Crim6 and how good he was with the FG42. With the new meta developing with no FG in play, is he someone that you think is going to suffer more than maybe other players, or will he just remain just as good even with the STG?
Crim6 would be just fine. I think pretty much every single AR in the Pro League will be perfectly fine with any weapon you give them. There might be some slight variations, but I think if anything, STG just means that like the PPSH players are going to have like a little bit more life to them, sort of thing. Either way, though, for this pure game, OpTic Gaming has a very nice statue hill. MindFreak, yes, they're in control, and they actually get a bit of a clean sweep. You can see Fida spawns all the way out. That means they're getting pinched in the hill, and that means they got to be very concerned. OpTic Gaming has an opportunity to make the move, but Shox gets that first entry kill, and Buzzo watching the back.
Yeah, that pinch works if that first kill comes in from Crim. Thankfully, Scump goes, okay, Crim couldn't do it, I will. He floods through gate, gets the 2-piece, and that swings it in favor of OpTic with 26 seconds left on Main Street. You expect them to hold a majority of this time, especially if they can win their gunfights in middle map, which they are doing up to this point. As I say that, Dens gets 2, but yeah, MindFreak will give that up. They'll begin the rotation. As Scump, Monster start to this game 8-3 on another 3 streak.
And right now, Formal is key as well, because he's on the top side, while the other 2 players for OpTic Gaming are going on the pinch. So MindFreak is going to be spread a little thin inside the hill, and that's why Formal's trying to put on the pressure, because he's trying to work with Crim6 in tandem to get inside. And there you go, Crim6 gets 1. Now Formal should have the opportunity to, well, I was going to say maybe get the 1v1 inside the hill, but no, he plays it passive, and Shox is going to punish him for it. MindFreak with the early control of Doc's Warehouse.
Karma trying to win some fights middle map. MindFreak still with this early control of lower docks, and so far in Division A, in some of the games we've watched, Chance, the team that rotates towards lower docks and gets that setup holds it honestly with ease for the full 60. So far, so good for MindFreak. What is it about lower docks that makes it so hard to break at times?
If you allow a team to get a full setup, it's just going to be nearly impossible. OpTic Gaming, though, they are going to have the spawns for next, as well as maybe an opportunity to break through. But once you're inside, at the very least for MindFreak, the worst case scenario is they should be able to contest out, unless they get a little bit over aggressive and challenge. So OpTic Gaming will get a tiny bit of scrap time. And now MindFreak is actually in a bit of a tough spot, because they got to get across the map. But 2 kills come their way. The opportunity is there. Formal, he's going to have to get a couple kills. The pressure is coming in the front. It's going to be Dens and Shox working together. One's going to fall. Den's going to contest.
Dens laying down, playing his life. He's got Buzzo watching over. 70-62 the score. Just like the first hard point, scrappy through and through up to this point. Which team will turn it up, though, and kick it into the next gear? Last time it was OpTic. So far, it just remains to be seen. You see the pinch was coming in from Scump. He's able to take 1 before he does die. He's slowed down quite a bit from the start of this game. Was 8-3, now 10-9.
Just like that, though, MindFreak, this is the opportunity to actually get some points, because this is just majority contested hill. Right, majority? Yeah, I took Herman back in middle school, so sometimes it just tries to pipe out of me. Either way, though, OpTic Gaming able to just restorm. They had the advantageous spawns for that hill. However, that means that MindFreak, excuse me, has the rotations. Now, Karma is far and away by himself. His job is just to stay alive, and if he gets kills, that'd be great. But no, the hero play is not going to work out in that situation. However, MindFreak probably should get a body inside that hill. That's how you win the game.
Yeah, and they most certainly will now. Typically on Crane, the thing that breaks the hill most and forces players out of the hard point are the nades that come storming on over from the lower dock side. Scump is kind of the one-man wrecking crew right now, gets the first couple kills, but again, that close spawn for MindFreak is letting them flood that hill just oh so much quicker. Here come those nades we talk about, dropping into the hill, weakening one. MindFreak still down by just about 12 seconds. It's OpTic, because they don't have these spawns, every kill they get is, it's barely helping them get into this hard point.
For both teams are just like, scrappy isn't the right word to describe this game. It's just teams are either contesting a lot of hill time, or on Crane just not getting any. Like MindFreak had more control overall, but just every single kill that OpTic got just kind of kept them out. So that's got to be like one of the lowest scoring Crane hills we've seen, period. And then the barrels before that was probably one of the more contest-heavy hills we've seen. So interesting first set of rotations for sure.
Even here, MindFreak looking allergic to the hard point as they're trying to watch wherever OpTic are coming from. Those green arrows everywhere. You got one on water stairs, one in beer, one outside lights, one all the way near back crane. I think MindFreak are more just like, where the hell are these guys coming from right now, Chance?
Well, right now they're going to be coming through, well, the top side of the map, full spread across the board. Shox is going to be going for essentially that full flank, and I think he's going to be dealing with Crim6 as well. He's going to be able to trade it out. So OpTic in a decent spot here. Again, no one is getting hill time on Statue. But OpTic should be able to get the spawns, but there might be a small opening for MindFreak to get through, and Fight is able to pick up too. This is an interesting game, Jack.
Yeah, interesting game to say the least. And look at where OpTic just spawned. This is now MindFreak's chance. They forced OG all into this underpass area. And they're just watching the cross towards lights. MindFreak now take the lead. They'll get the rest of this scrap time. And they already have the spawns and set up for the new hill. This is where they take control of this game.
And the question here is, how is Buzzo going to play this? Because he's not watching the cross, but his team obviously has full control. And now Buzz is going for it, but the timing actually doesn't work out because that's exactly when Formal is going to be coming through barrels. But now Dens is just pre-aiming that. So, yeah, decent hold so far. OpTic Gaming, they're just going to have to go through the flood. The question is, can they win the gunfights? So far, the answer is yes.
And here they go. Almost a 30-second lead now for MindFreak. Buzzo whips some shots. He gets help from his teammates, though, where they've held off the first couple pushes from OG. Now OpTic flood forward again. This time they do break the spawn. So they should get the rest of this scrap time. But what did we see last time, Chance? When the scrap time went to OpTic at Main Street, the full 60 nearly went to MindFreak at Lower Docks.
But OpTic Gaming has 15 seconds to work with and trying to figure this one out. So they're going to have a tie game, and they have plenty of time to try and break 10. You see, again, it is Formal on the top side of the map. This is what Zuma actually for FaZe is very good at for this hill. He causes confusion. Now Formal actually has a great opportunity to start getting some spawn kills. Unfortunately for him, his teammates are not winning the gunfights on Lower Docks.
Yeah, they've really struggled to get these entries. Finally, it looks like Scump will be there, but no. Dens again with the two-piece swings the trade to his team, and just like that, Karma will get into the hill. Will OpTic get there in time to stop the players from crossing in towards Lower Docks? It does appear so.
That's huge as well, because Formal actually got the split spawn on the top side that forces MindFreak out. So, yes, OpTic Gaming struggled to win a couple of the key gunfights, but overall, that's pretty much what you want to see. You get the scrap time old, and you're able to break through on 10, and 10 can be where just teams turn the game around. So, pretty massive rotation there from OpTic. You love to see it. Of course, though, MindFreak, they're going to be set up for barrels, but yeah, OpTic will have a pretty sizable lead going into the hill.
Even with everything, though. 30 seconds for the most part at the end of this. It's pretty crazy just how close this game is. Crim6 with a 4 streak. He's now positive. You've got Scump at +7 as well. Dead even is the slang in this map. Again, spawns to MindFreak. Can OpTic break through cleanly? Crim6 earning his first streak of this game.
Going for the second, gonna get taken down though. Still though, OpTic, they have just a full pinch of the hill. Karma's actually able to get that second
Who's this
kill
in back?
as well.
It's Scump. Oh my God! Scump gets destroyed by Shox, who just wiped the whole team to keep it in control of MindFreak.
Now he's working on streaks of his own as well. He's going to chase a player down L2, and there you go. 50 points off. If he just touches a hill or gets the kill, he will have streaks. And again, yes, Crim does have one to his disposal, but you got to keep in mind because MindFreak, that's, again, the perfect response to having a bad rotation. They match it the next time and have the best possible. He's going to get the streaks as well. Pressure coming in from the front. He is going to get taken down, but I don't know, MindFreak, they're poised to get at least a tiny bit of scrap time. But going back to Crane, last time, nobody got hill time. OpTic's going to try, but they got to get past Shox, who is a man on a mission.
OpTic really want Formal to stay alive here in Lower Docks. Make MindFreak worry about him before flooding the hill. But we've seen this from OpTic before. Last time we cast us on this, they had no one watch the back. No one watching out for Dens here. Look at where he snuck up to. This could spell disaster for OpTic Gaming. The streak now coming on in. They'll call out where everyone is. Dens has revealed his location. He'll win the first gunfight versus Karma, but look at where OpTic just spawned. They are right next to him. Dens about to get swarmed.
Dens knew, though. He was able to pick up one, although it looks like in the end, not too much of a difference, but the nades are keeping OpTic out for a little bit. The streaks are keeping out for just a little bit. So I guess all in all, not too bad from MindFreak, but yeah, definitely a good spot here for OpTic. They're going to have well, I was going to say about a 30 or 40-point lead, but then the nades come in once again. So, yeah, it's just a tough hill to stay inside of. Again, the nades are incredibly difficult to deal with, even with Hunker.
200 seconds eclipse now for OpTic Gaming. Can they close this map out, or will MindFreak force the game 5? Karma pushing lower docks. He loses the gun engagement versus Fida. Early hill control to MindFreak now in middle map.
Scump going around, though. 50 seconds. There's no one on this side of the map. Yeah, I was about to say, he just needs to go and turn towards the hill. He's going to do just that. Able to push out barrels. Of course, so it's going to be 3 down right there for MindFreak. So MindFreak needs to sit inside of the hill as well, because this is probably one of the lower scoring game clocks we've had. 1:13 left on the clock for London Docks. That's on the lower end of things, and Crimsix is going to burn a fighter pilot for this middle hill. It looks like in the end it pays off dividends. Formal picks up 2.
20 seconds remaining. MindFreak, at this point, they don't really care much about the mid-statues time. They care about getting spawns for new. And it looks like they've at least gotten close to earning them, but they still need a few more gunfight victories, and it starts with Fida here up against Karma at the back bus side.
Yeah, he's going to have 2 players to deal with, and that's actually a very good read from Fida. Recognize the 2 separate players. Fortunately for him, I was going to say he gets bullied out, somehow wins the gunfight while one shot. Now he's got a little bit of teammate support as well. But for the moment, it might not matter because the pinch is coming in from Scump. Very good flank for him. So, yeah, OpTic Gaming full control right now. They just got to get 15 more seconds. MindFreak, though, they have the pressure. They got to win the gunfights, though. They're going to get traded out. They got to make this break.
Karma trying to push up. Not going to work out for him there. MindFreak have at least got a body in the hard point for the moment. The nade comes in as well to force OG out of the hill. OpTic still with the spawns, trying to close out the map here. They do not want to have to rotate to lower docks. I can promise you that chance. These nades from MindFreak, though. Pinch from Formal. Gets 1. Can't collapse quite yet. He's going to worry about his flank. It looks like Karma will win the gunfights on the opposite side. He's got 1 on his close right. Gets the first, but there's the quick trade. We will see a rotation towards lower docks, but OpTic are here. MindFreak need to go towards the hill.
MindFreak, they have to go.
They have to go right now. Go.
They have 6 seconds that they can throw away, and the spawn comes in for Formal right behind Buzzo, who gets shot in the back. Now it's just hero plays that Shox is going to have to make, and just like that, OpTic Gaming closes out the series, winning both the hard points against MindFreak to exact their revenge.
They did just that, Chance. I like the way you put that. This was Shox. Ridiculous.
Not nasty.
Sequence of events. He got a 4th after that one, too, but one thing to bring up, MindFreak, again, play the hard points pretty close. Yes, they lost the first one by about 100 seconds, but this one, through and through, held their own with OpTic. That's been the case. They just need to convert more of those games into victories. GG's all around. OG back on track with the victory over MindFreak.
Absolutely. MindFreak, I think, again,